the spring of 1970, when he took a ride on the train. This was after his college years, after his leukemia diagnosis, and after he got married. And he and his wife took the train down to Mattoon, Illinois, to see her grandmother, to introduce him to her. And he says Nancy fell asleep, and he took out his sketch pad and he wrote down what he saw outside the train window. And when he got back to Chicago, is where your point comes in. He was thrilled that he had this wonderful song. He had this chorus, the Good Morning America, How Are You chorus, and he had what we now know as the first and the third verses of the song. He was very excited about this. And where he really had cut his teeth musically in Chicago was the Earl of Old Town Club. And he had been playing there for several years, doing mostly covers. You know, if you saw Goodman in 67, 68, 60, you didn't see a lot of original stuff from him. But he came back and he went into the back room. Earl Pianki, the proprietor, called it the Star Cave. And in the back room was Richard Wedler, another musician, and he played it for Richard Wedler and thought, this was great. Well, Wedler thought it was a good song, but he wasn't quite as enthusiastic, and he said, you know, a lot of people write train songs. You know, Gordon Lightfoot wrote a great train song, but you could do better. Why don't you do more of a Steinbeck? And why don't you tell us what happened on the train itself? And the light bulb went on in Goodman's brain, and he sat down at the table and he completed the song. What he did is he wrote what we now know as the middle verse, which has the images that are the most enduring ones, the ones that stick in our minds. You know, the mothers with the babes asleep, and the paper bag that holds the bottle. And Goodman always said of all songwriting, in his case, is that he had a hard time imagining things. He had to see it first. And he certainly saw this stuff and incorporated it in the song. And it's the craft of his songwriting that allows us to see the images when we're only hearing words.